Hi, I'm AJ Urmston-Toft here of Darst World, and today thanks to the people at 10Bet, we have got an amazing opportunity to speak to a 3-time world champion, a 2-time world master, winner of multiple events all around the world, including the PDC Premier League. I'm, of course, talking about the legend himself, Glen Durrant. How are we doing today?
That's an introduction. I'm a huge fan of your work as well, Anthony. I'm delighted that the success is there and looking forward to chatting with you.
It's going to be an excellent few weeks with the World Championships coming up. For yourself, obviously, you've, as we said earlier, a 3-time world champion and then playing in the PDC World Championships. What was the anticipation going to each of the venues? Because the Lakeside is the home of World Darts, but obviously the Ali Pali is the home of the World Championships. Was it different? Did it have a different feel for you?
Absolute chalk and cheese, Anthony, in the sense that Luke Littler goes into Ali Pali as the even money favourite. In the second Lakeside I won, I was even money favourite. And in the third one that I won, I was 4-6 favourite. So I was odds on to win them. And that has a different feeling. I loved Lakeside. When I first went in before the smoke lights was everything, and I thought, wow, is this it? It was it lacked a little bit of disappointment, but soon as the lights went down, soon as the smoke machine come on, the smell, for me, there's been no better place than the Lakeside. Whereas Ali Pali, I was shocked at the professionalism. Now, at Lakeside, I went in on the night session, and the sponsors and friends of the players on the afternoon session were in there, and they were all sort of tanked up, and I was like falling over in there, and I was like, this is not what I was expecting. I was expecting the same when I went to Ali Pali, and it was the professionalism, the one person in there, the silence, the fact that you can focus. I knew I was in a different world of darts then, and the stage was huge. It's intimate at Lakeside, where it's a pantomime at Ali Pali. So I found them absolute chalk and cheese. I would never, ever say anything bad about the Lakeside stage, venue, my time there. And the Ali Pali, I reached the quarter-final in the first one there, and I saw that as a real success.
So before we go on to like what the future is going to be happening, let's go back into your past. So you won your first world title, and at the moment, Luke is the reigning world champion. What's the difference for you of winning that first title and then the chance of defending it?
It was the motivation. I think that was the real thing. I wanted to be a 2-time champion. There's the element that when I won the first one, I've never had that feeling. Even winning the Premier League, I never had the feeling when I hit the winning dart to beat Danny Noppert for that first Lakeside. If I could have bottled that, Anthony, it was like, I'd be a billionaire now. It was just absolutely incredible. But I wanted it again and again. So there was just something inside. And 18-year-old, if Luke Littler can't motivate himself to be a 2-time, 3-time, 4-time, etc., etc., that's the biggest thing for me. He's already a very rich young man, and what's the motivation for him to sort of get on the practice board, etc. But I've got him to win it again. I like his draw.
Yeah,
I like him. I've just spent some time in Finland with him right now, and he's unique. He's classy. He's maturing very, very nicely, and he's an excellent world champion right now. And I think he goes into it. Don't forget, he doesn't think like me and you. When you're an elite sportsman, like a Ronnie O'Sullivan, a Tiger Woods, and I put Michael Van Gerwen at 17. I put Littler in that. They think differently to us, and just has to be careful. That 128 players means that's a lot of games to win. So you might hear that old adage of one game at a time.
Yeah, and just touching up on that, do you think with the field now being 128 players, do you think this will have more an effect of the older players in terms of the longevity, the stamina involved mentally, of course. It's the long games, it's the longest format in darts. And do you think this will have an effect on the older players, as we say?
Yeah, I just think adrenaline wins. And I don't know. So I don't think anyone will struggle, because let me tell you, when you get on that stage, any aches and any pain that you have, it just eradicates immediately, and adrenaline wins. There used to be the story, of course, before the 1-8, where the seeds would play a game, and then they're going to have the Christmas dinner, then they come back.
Yes.
And when you get to the last 16, it can be a rat-a-tat-tat. Then I'd have a conversation with you about fatigue, and I don't mean just physically, but also mentally as well. The media pressures that you have, and just making sure a family, you've got tickets, that plays a big part of it as well. So I don't think it'll be an issue. Nutrition is a big part of a lot of the older players now, and the older players are there now for a reason. The James Wade's in the form of his life. Johnny Clayton could go really deep. Peter Wright still believes. Gary Anderson's still looking for a big tournament, TV tournament win as well. So I'm excited for the older players as well.
So obviously you won the Premier League, which was a tremendous achievement for yourself. And going into that Premier League format, how different was that for you in terms of preparation? Was it was you treating it like any other tournament, or was it just something different about that Premier League?
That was wonderful. I think I played 6 arena matches, including Fallon as well, which was, I learned so much about myself. It was unbelievable, mate. From playing, what was his name, Adam Smith Neal in front of 50 people at the World Masters final, sort of a few months before that, to suddenly going to Dublin, where the acoustics of that building was just absolutely off the scale. I just was robbed in one sense that COVID come and I couldn't see out, because the week I beat Daryl Gurney in Liverpool in March 2020, and you can cut this if you want to. This could be the headline of, that's the only time in my life I've ever felt the best player in the world. That one night of beating him, I was just could have threw them underarm. It's the only time and that's why I never call myself a world champion. I call myself a Lakeside champion. Proud of it. I've got the trophy upstairs. Yeah. Never called myself a world champion, because at the same time of me winning, the Michael van Gerwen and the others, Phil Taylor's, etc., winning there. So I always called myself a Lakeside champion. But there was a couple of weeks during that Premier League campaign where I felt on top of my game and I felt invincible.
I don't mean to blow any more smoke, but I was there when you played Michael van Gerwen at the World Match Play a couple of years ago, and you just had an aura about how you played in that game. As you said, you felt like you was the best player in the world. I thought on that stage against Michael van Gerwen at that time, you was hitting all the right shots at the right times, the timing. For me personally, I would have had that as probably one of your best games that you've played. Have you, in terms of this World Championships coming up, obviously form is very important, but do you think there's going to be a few wild cards thrown into the mix?
I don't. And I don't think it's been the year of the underdog with the domination of the two Lukes. I've struggled to get value for people. I'll give you a couple of names there. I think Martin Schindler can go on a run this year. I think Jermaine Waterman is in the form of his life. I think there's a couple of young players, the Manbys, Van Herrick, Sto Bunce. I'm a big fan of from the North American scene, Adam Savada, etc. But I don't see them going deep, as in the full time, because the elite players just look so good. And I don't see a Scott Williams from a couple of years ago reaching the semi-final at 300, 400, 100 to 1, what he was. I think the cream will rise to the top.
And speaking of the cream rising to the top and how much cream is available, the money is now incredible. You've got £1 million going to the winner. Do you think that has an effect? Would it have had an effect on you if you was playing at, in your world finals and at the back you thought there's £1 million on this dart?
Yeah, 100,000 was life-changing for me. And that 48 finish against Danny Noppert, let me tell you, my legs weren't there, my arms weren't there. It was pure instinct. A lot of the top players are financially sound now. But I think the biggest
Yeah.
motivation is to be the first player to ever win £1 million at a dart competition. I think that's what the motivation will be there. But the reason they're in the top 8 right now is, like I said, they think differently to the normal players. And I don't think the £1 million will be on their mind. The realisation will kick in when they hit the winning double. But what an incredible incentive. What a wonderful incentive. What a fantastic place the world of darts is in right now.
So looking up and down the draw, I mean, as we said, you think the top 8 could potentially be your quarter-final, and there's every reason why we can say that. But in the earlier rounds, for me personally, I think there's going to be a lot of upsets where people like seeded players in the 16 to 32 range, they're in very dangerous territory.
I was going to disagree with you there, because I said I don't see many of the seeds losing their first match. But I absolutely agree with you. Come the second round, when those players rank 32 to 64 and the real top international qualifiers, that's when we'll see some seeds go, some shocks. So I don't expect. I like the look of Charlie Manby in the first round. I think Cameron Menzies has got a really tough game there. Everyone's writing off Rob Cross, and his throw's gone at 175 to 1. Rob Cross is not a 175 to 1 shot. I hope he finds his form there. It's intriguing. It's exciting. It's going to be the place to be. It's what everyone's going to be watching. And if seeds go, then great. But I'll be surprised if we don't see those real top elites picking up that £1 million.
Glen Durrant, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you today. I'd like to thank again 10Bet for everything, for this opportunity. Glen, I'm going to see you there in London at some point with Darts World, and maybe we can have a few catch-ups ourselves.
Well, I've got a little treat for you as well. I've got you some Bo Greaves darts as well, so I'll be bringing them down for you as well, Anthony. I got them delivered yesterday.
Oh, you're an absolute legend as always. Glen, thank you very much again, and we wish you all the very best for Christmas and for Dartsmas.
Keep up the great work. See you soon.
Thank you. Take care.